Kansas farmers are walking away from their land, and the numbers are brutal. In just 1 year, 900 Kansas farms disappeared. That's not a typo. 900 family operations gone. But here's what nobody's talking about. The governor who promised relief? She's been vetoing the very bills designed to save them. Property taxes skyrocketing, federal funding frozen, and net farm income has crashed from $177,000 to barely $98,000 per farm. This isn't just about numbers on paper. This is about fourth-generation farmers forced to sell land that's been in their families for over a century. Let me show you exactly what's happening in the heartland right now. Governor Laura Kelly just blocked property tax relief for the third time in 2024. While Kansas farmers are drowning in a perfect storm of rising costs and falling income, the governor keeps saying it's too expensive to help them. Meanwhile, Dave Rao, a 100% disabled veteran, got forced out of his Garden Plain home because he couldn't afford the property taxes. His home value jumped from $267,000 to $440,000 in just 2 years. His property tax bill up $150 per month. And he's not alone. Across Kansas, property values have exploded while farm profitability has collapsed. The average Kansas farmer saw their net income drop to $98,299 in 2023. But here's the kicker. 84% of that income came from crop insurance payouts, not from actually farming. Think about that. Farmers aren't making money farming anymore. They're surviving on insurance claims. The crisis has 3 deadly components working together to destroy Kansas agriculture. First, the property tax nightmare. Lawmakers promised relief for years. They campaigned on it. Republicans won their supermajority specifically by making property taxes their central message. But when came time to deliver, Governor Kelly vetoed 3 separate tax relief bills. Each one would have raised property tax exemptions from $42,000 to $100,000 of appraised value. Her reason? She's worried about returning to the days of 4-day school weeks and crumbling roads. She's still haunted by the Sam Brownback tax disaster from years ago. But while she's playing it safe with the budget, actual human beings are losing their farms. Second problem, federal funding got frozen in January 2025. The USDA halted payments under critical conservation programs. Kansas farmers who had signed contracts for water systems, fencing, and soil conservation got left stranded. One Missouri cattle producer, Skylar Holden, completed $240,000 worth of work on his NRCS contract. Then they told him the money was frozen. He's now financially devastated, with no way to recoup his investment. The freeze only lasted days before courts intervened, but the damage was done. Farmers entering spring planting season now have zero confidence in federal support. And third, the economics are completely broken. Net farm income has been falling for 4 straight years, from a peak of $319,000 per farm in 2021 down to $98,000 in 2023. Commodity prices are down, input costs are up, interest rates at multi-decade highs, and land values, while still elevated, are starting to crack. Here's what economists are predicting. Land value increases in 2025 may be close to zero. After years of 22%, 13%, and 8% annual gains, the boom is over. But the real tragedy isn't in the statistics. It's in the voices of the farmers themselves. Don Tesk farms near Wheaton, Kansas, population 103. He's president of the Kansas Farmers Union, and when asked about the future, he just sighs. It's getting lonely. It doesn't make much sense to keep going, does it? He farms 1,000 acres, and even that's not big enough anymore to survive. Between 1980 and today, Kansas lost over 15,000 farms. The state had 75,000 farms in 1980. Today, only 57,700 remain. And every time a farm disappears, so does a family, so does a small-town business, so does a church congregation, a school classroom, a community. The big farms are getting bigger, while family operations vanish. In 2020, 66% of federal farm subsidies went to just 7,842 operations, the biggest producers. That's 10% of recipients getting 2/3 of the money. Now, to be fair, Governor Kelly did eventually sign a compromise tax bill in June 2024. It provided $1.2 billion in cuts over 3 years, but farmers say it didn't go far enough. The property tax exemption only went from $40,000 to $75,000, not the $100,000 they needed. And when the 2025 legislative session started, with property taxes still crushing rural Kansas, Kelly announced she wouldn't support more property tax cuts. House Speaker Dan Hawkins said the state has the money. August 2024 tax revenues came in $23 million above projections. The state is running a historic surplus. But Kelly's response, wait and see how the 2024 cuts work first. Meanwhile, farmers can't wait. They're making decisions right now whether to plant, whether to sell, whether to just walk away. Here's what happens next. If Kansas doesn't act, economists predict steady or decreasing land values in 2025. Farmers with tight margins will be forced to sell, and when they sell, it won't be to other farmers. Wall Street investors are already circling. One legislator warned, we're going to see a lot of land being transferred, and I'm really worried that Wall Street is going to own the land, and our farmers are just going to become serfs. Think about that. Kansas farmers reduced to tenant workers on land their families owned for generations. The fight isn't over. The 2025 legislative session ended without major property tax reform, but lawmakers promised to try again. The question is whether Governor Kelly will finally listen to the farmers whose livelihoods hang in balance, or whether she'll keep playing it safe while rural Kansas disappears. Because right now, the governor isn't losing it, but Kansas farmers are losing everything.